Today, I'm going to show you 5 iconic movie watches that you can pick up readily without breaking the bank. As a kid, there was nothing I loved more than going to the movies. That excitement I used to feel when buying popcorn, watching the trailers and hearing the audience reactions for the first time is why I fell in love with the genre. As a young adult, I worked a stint as a manager at a cinema, and that was mainly to recreate the feeling that I used to have. I also was a bit of a watch nerd, and as time went on, I would try to spot the watches worn by amazing characters in truly iconic films. And today I'm going to show you 5 watches that you can readily pick up right now. These price points are from a more affordable range. I will be doing a mid-price list as well, so stay tuned for that one. The Robert Zemeckis trilogy is widely considered to be one of the best films or collections of films in movie history. And despite the Doc wearing a Seiko A826, the watch that has become iconic with this franchise is the Casio CA53W Databank watch. The cheapest watch on this list, it comes in at £33 in the UK, with dimensions of 34.4mm case diameter, a lug-to-lug of 43.2mm, and a thickness of 8.2mm. Completely constructed of resin, this is the ultimate vintage 80s look. As we all know, this watch's party trick is the 8-digit calculator, and all of the other features on this watch are regular aspects that you would expect from a Casio at this price. Mission Impossible is a mega franchise, and Tom Cruise's main character Ethan Hunt has definitely worn some more expensive watches as time has gone on. Way back when at the beginning, he wore a god tier Casio watch though, the Casio DW290. This is a watch that I own and is in my collection, and although the looks aren't for everyone, I can attest to just how brilliant this one is in practice. I managed to pick this watch up for £40 way back in 2022. If you can find it for that price, I'd say go for it. The dimensions for this watch are just a little over 47mm in diameter, 14.3mm thick, and a lug-to-lug of 50mm. But don't let those dimensions put you off. Just like the aforementioned CA53W, this watch wears light thanks to its all-resin construction. This watch has 200 meters of water resistance and is truly ready for anything, and again comes in all the functions that you would expect from a Casio. The last Casio on this list I'm going to talk about today, I promise, is the A100. Yet again, another stunning retro reissue watch from Casio, dubbed the Ripley thanks to its faithful recreation of the F100 as worn by the actress Sigourney Weaver in the brilliant film Alien. This watch again is a pretty cool looking watch, and I'm a big fan of the buttons on this Casio being on the face of the watch instead of the side. This watch has great dimensions. It comes in at 33mm in diameter, has a 41mm lug to lug and a thickness of 9mm, and that wears well on most wrists. The only word of warning that will come with this one is the bracelet is a goddamn hair nipper, so just make sure that if that's a deal breaker for you, you keep that in mind. You can get them on alternative straps and different colorways, plenty of which are available. I'll link to them below. The Seiko SNJ is a faithful recreation of the H558, as also known as the watch sporting on the wrist of one Arnold Schwarzenegger during the filming of Commando in 1985 and Predator in 1987. So the Seiko nicknamed the Arnie is definitely fitting here. Coming in at a 48mm case diameter, a 51mm lug to lug and a 14mm thickness, this watch is such a big boy. But as I always say, some watches are just made to be worn big, and this is a great example of that. This is part of the Prospex range, a solar powered quartz movement, hardlex crystal and a 200 meter water resistance rating, and costs roughly between £400 to £500. Now for the true Arnie look, I better get on the push-ups. Yeah, you. As always with me, the last watch on this list is nothing but a blatant cheat. And today I've done no different, and I'm going to give you 2 watches from one movie. And although they retail for almost £1,000, they are on this list because you can find them all day long, well under that on the second-hand market. And if you're prepared to haggle with your AD, you can easily find them underneath retail price as well. So in that case, I believe they fit rather nicely onto this list. I'm of course talking about the Hamilton watches that feature in Christopher Nolan's sci-fi epic Interstellar. Referenced as the Coupe and Murph respectively, these watches are stylish and as part of the Swatch Group play host to some truly amazing features. The Coupe is a pilot style watch that comes in at 42mm in diameter, is 11mm thick, whilst the Murph, a field style watch, comes in at 42mm or 38mm and again has a thickness of 11mm. Both are powered by variations of the ETA Powermatic 80, giving it 80 hours of power reserve, sapphire crystal covering the dial, and of course 100 meters of water resistance. So here we are at the edge of another list. I love doing these lists, if you haven't noticed. I think that often it highlights the sheer amount of diversity and specs on offer. This one is doubly special as it pays homage to the movie world too, and this means that for not a lot of money you can get a watch with genuine movie credentials on your wrist at a pretty good price. I tackled with this list and there was so much on offer here. At one point it was just purely Casios, at another point it was a top 10, at another point it was a top 30 list as well. That's how far it ballooned out. So there you go, sanity prevailed and I'm happy with the list I've chosen today. I will be doing a mid-tier list, so please stay tuned for that, but take care everyone and I'll see you all very soon.